On air quality monitoring, very similarly, we went out at the same time as these heat sensors were mounted. We had these air beam sensors also mounted on the same vehicles. We don't generate models here. There's a lot more factors, as you can imagine, that impact air quality distribution, what are kind of wind patterns and other meteorological conditions that might influence. Is there some external event like a wildfire that's blowing smoke from 100 miles away? So we didn't just do the mobile collection campaign. We also installed the sensors for a stationary period. So for a 3-week period following the mobile campaign to see how PM concentrations fluctuate over time. So up to 12 micrograms per cubic meter in particulate matter, that's generally good, considered good air quality. Above 12 is where we see air quality start to degrade. This may pose some threats for populations who are sensitive to air pollution, and then it goes up from there. Above 35 is unhealthy for sensitive groups. So I'll just show you morning traverses here. We use a different color scheme here, so it's light blue to purple. We can see pretty even distribution of particulate matter, though you can see some areas kind of in the north-south column of the city showing up as higher in concentration, up to 46 micrograms per cubic meter. There's a couple of really high points measured along the roadway down in the southern portion. And then in the afternoon and evening, kind of similar, not super high concentrations, centering around 10 micrograms, 11 micrograms in the evening. Pretty even distribution, still some higher spots showing up in terms of concentrations in kind of the north-south column. So we didn't see huge gradation in air quality concentrations here, but we do get to some more interesting results with the stationary component. So the stationary component, we had, I think, 10 sensors set up from the end of August to middle end of September here. And what we show are the 24-hour averages in this chart here. So you can see that the highest values occurred around September 13th here. We actually had some max daily averages above that 12 microgram concentration line. So then we wanted to zoom in on that peak day and look at where the sensors placed that were reading the highest. So you can kind of see in the central and eastern parts of Fort Wayne is where we saw some of those higher concentrations. And you can also see some different displays of the similar kind of information. On the right, you can see sensor 5 is showing up consistently as a hotter spot, as well as 3 and 7. We also looked at the number of days that each sensor spent above these 24-hour averages. So we were looking at an average of 12 micrograms per cubic meter. Again, that threshold between good and moderate conditions to see which sensors stayed above those thresholds the longest. Again, it was sensor 5 in this southeastern region from downtown. And what we generally recommend is, hey, we found that there's not an even distribution of particulate matter across the city. It ranges across different ranges of health impacts. That's the main finding. And we present these results again in the map, and the data sets are also available in our repository online.